Awesome.
Floor is yours.
Hey everybody, NASCAR Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. We're back. Post Talladega. I'm just gonna go ahead and ask you, what did you think? About the race in general. We'll get into the specifics.
It's kind of hard to compare when you watch the Xfinity and then watch that. I guess the best way to put it.
Or the ARCA.
Yeah.
Or the ARCA.
What you expect from racing of Talladega or Daytona is what you saw in the Xfinity. They could go 3 wide, they could pass, they could push, they could go back and forth, and the Cup cars aren't that. They can barely do 2, and then when the third, from what it looked like, the third lane could form and then push and then it'd die out because somebody would try to get ahead of it and then they'd form and it'd kind of like merge into the second. Like, it was just 2x2 single file racing until either an end of a stage or the end of the race. And they can't.
It looked to me like the lower lane had an advantage, and by advantage I mean they were able to go up and side draft and drag back that top lane is when it looked to me like it stalled out that way.
Yeah, a lot of them stalled. The side drafting stalled out a lot. That's, I think, yeah. Because if you watch who crashed, who was it? Joey Logano.
Which time?
Joey Logano, he got side draft when he tried to get in front of the third lane. Corey LaJoie got right to his side and sucked him back, and that's what put him back. And I think the side drafting is so drastic on these new cars. It's hard to get 3 lanes going like it was, or it used to be, or, you know, how we're used to.
To me, I'm not going to complain too much about the race.
I don't think it was bad. It could be better.
But what it put me in mind of kind of is back several years ago when they had the winged car and Tony led the revolt and they did kind of like the Pied Piper all day long. And then the last, 10, 12 laps got interesting. That's kind of what it reminded me of, is nobody was willing to, like you said, take it 3 wide, try and do a whole lot of moving around, or yes, there was a lot of blocking and things, especially one guy had bubbles. I mean, I was captured the whole time because it was basically 2-line racing, and the front would move up, then the lower lane would move up, and then the outside lane would grab a lot of energy and move up, and then it was a high speed chess match, which is what we expect at Talladega. I just, like, to me, and I'm not saying this because of the wrecking, I'm saying this because of the passing and the strategy. The Xfinity race was, to me, the best race of the weekend.
Oh yeah.
It was exciting from start to finish, and yeah, there was a hell of a lot of carnage. I mean, Blaine Perkins, he barrel rolled what?
6 times.
Six times. Yeah, he was airlifted out of there, but he got out on his own. It reminded me, do you remember the Rusty Wallace?
Yeah.
The kind of that nature. But again, I know we're here to talk about the Cup Series, but man, I'll tell you what, that Xfinity race was the race to watch.
Yep.
It was the race to watch. It was like, holy what the F.
Yeah.
More than once. So, all right. We all know Kyle Busch won.
First time in 15 years.
At a super speedway, yeah.
Yep. First time in 15 years at Speedway.
And excuse me, his second win of the year. He's definitely locked in that 8 car for the
I need to find my predictions because I gotta go find it somewhere. What was my crazy predictions? I said he had 3 or 4 wins. He's gonna be in the top. Yeah, he's in my predictions to be in the top 4, final 4. at the end of the year.
Who did I have? I hope I had him. We were pretty.
I didn't have you wrote down. We have to go look. I have
wonder
mine on. You wrote it all down. I don't know if you can find it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I kept it. Let me look in my stack here.
We can go. I can go back at some point and listen and go whatever. But he was. I think you said Busch was also. I want to say, but I have my picks. I have Larson, Busch, Elliott, and Truex. Truex better pick it up.
Yeah, he better pick it up. He's not been horrible.
I thought this race he was there. He was there, and it just didn't work out for him.
Oh, I've got some stuff here I forgot about. I'll you picked Busch, Elliott, Larson, and Truex, correct?
Yep.
I picked Busch, Elliott, Larson, and Harvick.
See, your 4 is better than mine at the moment.
All right. We'll put that back away. I've got some other things that we did, and I'd actually forgot about it. First winner for teams. You picked Larson. I picked Elliott. You won that one.
No, William Byron won first. For the teams.
Of our picks, though.
What do you mean of our picks?
For Hendrick.
Yeah, William. Oh, for our picks. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
All right. This is going to be good. All right. I got that on top of the stack now, so we can...
I pin that against the wall. So you don't lose it.
I ain't going to lose it. Go ahead and do the rundown. I've got this freaking...
Oh, what? The finishes?
Yeah.
Kyle Busch coming in. He even says he got lucky and he won. And he doesn't matter. He doesn't care if he snuck in and got it. Kyle Busch, number 1. Ryan Blaney, which I thought was going to be the winner. Chris Buescher, which I took him out of my fantasy because he was worse behind Joey, and Joey crashed out. Chase Briscoe 4, which is crazy with his broken finger. Brad coming in hot. He's catching fire. Eric Jones, really good finish for him. Then Byron, then Bell, then Suarez, then Todd Gilliland. And then we got J.J. Yeley as 11th, which is a really good finish. Then Chase Elliott, 12. Yep. Bowman, 13.
Well, that was due to that wreck, though, at the end. So.
This is one of those tracks where you're going to get these names up there. Ty Dillon, who was running in the top 5 at some point. He's 14th. Stenhouse, 15th. Reddick, 16th. Hamlin, 17th. McLeod, 18th. Justin Haley, 19th. And Riley Herbst, 20th. Notables, Harvick, 21. Ross, I thought he's gonna do a lot better. 23rd. Martin Truex, 27. Bubbles, 28. Joey, 30th. Ty Gibbs, which he was very strong until he crashed. No, he didn't crash. He lost fuel, which kind of ruined Ryan Blaney's chances. That's what it was. Noah Gragson crash out. Larson, 33rd. Priest, 34, which I don't know if you knew, but NASCAR has taken both of those cars and tried to reenact what happened and how Kyle Larson's car.
I got a whole spiel on Larson in the car. So
and his car exploding on the inside. And then McDowell 35th and other notables, but yeah.
Austin Dillon dead last.
Yeah.
So. The standings after the race, after they finally, I think they changed it like 27 times before they finally got the finish right. Christopher Bell is your points leader right now. Chastain second. I'll just run through the top 10. Harvick, Larson, Busch, Reddick, Truex, Blaney, Bowman, and Hamlin. Some people that you got your defending champions in 11th. Of the top 16. So I guess my surprise of the top 16 as far as points, and he is in the chase because he won the Daytona 500 is Stenhouse. Bubbles is back in 21st, which is normal.
That's
He's
his
normally
normal.
20,
Yeah, that's
22,
his,
23.
Yeah, that's his normal position. He's good. But he's got Kansas, which he won last fall in Kurt Busch's car.
Yeah. We go to Dover before we go there. But my point about that is you got Tyler Reddick in 6th spot. Same equipment.
Yeah.
Same everything. I'm trying to look as far as driver points. Chase is in 31st. He's got to get up, I believe, to be considered to 30th. If he gets the Kyle Busch pass, he's got some work to do, or he better win a race, which I think he actually will. But if he doesn't win a race, he's whatever. All right. I did not pull up our fantasy league. I think I beat you,
You
but
won
it was
because of those last crashes. I was above 200, except for those last crashes took me out. Results league. You finished with 159. I finished with 129.
159. Woo!
I had Truex finish 27th, Hamlin 17th, Bubba Wallace 28th, and then Logano 30th. And Blaney second. But if I had Buescher in, that would have changed me up 19 points if I would have changed it for the lowest. So it wouldn't matter.
I think I had Bubbles in that one too.
Well, he was doing well going into the final stage. So was Logano. It's just those it's a crapshoot at the end there. If you have over 200 on that, you got lucky. Simple put.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you there. I don't recall. Let me see. Oh crap! It's gonna make me sign in on this thing, and I don't have it. So forget that. Not important. Overall, I said I thought it was a good race. I thought it was a great last 15, 20 laps. Not that I'm looking for wrecks, but they started to finally get aggressive and push the limits where I just don't feel they were just playing along to get along for most of the race, in my opinion. It was still good racing.
I don't know. Bubbles couldn't handle a push. I thought he was gonna be gone a lot sooner.
Oh yeah, we were chatting, during the race. It took longer than I thought, and it took his own mistake to make it happen.
Yeah, and in his defense, he said he messed up. He didn't blame Ryan on it. He said he blocked too late and he caused that crash. Have you seen the POV of Michael Jordan watching that?
No.
He just watched hundreds of $1,000s go down the drain because he knew it was a chance to win, and when it happened, he knew it was just they obviously they're watching and the cameras of it happened, and literally everybody on that pit box was just hands in their face.
Well, to me, that's what Bubba has failed to understand yet. You got to know when you can win and when you can't. And he's just where he was at that time. And I don't know if it was just him making a stupid decision or whether his spotter wasn't giving him the proper information or whether he just...
it was that time of race. Ryan Blaney wasn't going to let up, regardless of them being friends or not. And Bubba should have stayed low.
He should have known, or somebody should have been telling him, you can't do, just take second place, take third place,
He had I don't know how many laps were left, but he had plenty of time to...
That was the second overtime.
Yeah, he had plenty of time to get back in line, because he would have been able to get back in line and go for it again, but he just, lost. He just didn't want to give it up, and guess where he finished? Wrecked.
Yeah, wrecked. I don't know. I I guess that's pretty much it. It was nice to see Tony back in
Yep.
the booth. I really appreciate that. I saw a lot of blowback against Clint this weekend. I enjoy listening to Clint. I do. But man, there's some people that for some reason are against him right now and just not. They're really giving him a hard time, and I don't know why.
Maybe he goes off too much of a tangent, because he does go off on tangents sometimes.
I enjoy his perspective. I do, as much as I whine and cry about NASCAR and the attendance and the ratings. They killed it this weekend.
Attendance-wise, ratings were down a little.
No, they were not. They were the best since Daytona.
No, the ratings.
They were the best.
Okay, compared to last year. I'm going race from.
Well, okay. I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah. It was down like 1% from last year.
Okay, they had average 4.3, and they said for the last
year over
stage
year,
it was a 6.
Yeah, from
the last stage.
Yeah, obviously it's the Talladega. Everybody knows shit's gonna go down, but yeah, from year over year, it was down like 1%. Not much, so it's better than any other race this year.
Well, they said the best since I don't remember what Daytona was, but they said it was the best TV ratings. And another thing I heard, it was Larry Mack's show on Sirius. The top 3 markets for this race and average for the whole year are Greenville, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Richmond, I think it is, Virginia. It's all this home area where the tracks were the top 3 TV markets. And then with this race this weekend, they said that Milwaukee, Wisconsin was number 4. I thought they were too busy burning shit down up there to worry about NASCAR. But they said Milwaukee was number 4. That kind of surprised me. All right. Let's get into some discussion topics. We already talked about Blaine Perkins and his barrel roll. That was insane. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't catch the catch fence to make that worse.
Oh my God. Landed on the wheels.
Yep.
Was able to climb out. I saw some tweets from him today. He is home now.
Yep.
So I was like, wow. That was just unfreaking believable. Let's move it on to, of course, we talked about the attendance, Kyle Busch, and the ratings. I want to expand a little bit. There's 2 more subjects I want to expand on just a little bit. That Kyle Larson crash. Was it Briscoe that hit him or
Priest?
Priest, okay. That literally ripped the roll bar from the bottom up and pushed it in.
If he hit, we'd be talking about a different situation. A very I would say not tragic. He probably would have survived, but if that was on the driver's side, he probably would have broken ribs and legs.
All right, I'm gonna send you something right now.
The driver's side has a it's not just a roll cage. It's got
It's a freaking armored side.
It's an armored side, sheet metal, but
I
it's still got bars.
Sent it to you. I just sent it to you.
Well, then they need the armored side, both of them then.
Yep. But everyone was saying if that had been the driver's side, it would, we'd be talking about a funeral rite. Not necessarily. I don't know if you can get that picture.
No. I've seen pictures of it. I just don't know I see what the outside looks like. I don't know what the inside of that sheet metal looks like. Is it just bars like the the passenger side? So
Oh no, it is solid armor on that side.
Well,
hang on.
Well, then they're gonna have to. Well, then I feel but I don't know. We'll never know unless it actually happens again to that. But there's no way I don't feel the hit that Kyle Larson took from Ryan Preece when he goosed it trying to get around him. I don't think Kyle Larson would have came out unscathed.
There, now I know you're gonna get it.
I don't think Kyle Larson would have come out unscathed regardless if it hit him on that side, regardless of how armored that is. Yeah, that's the picture I seen. I want to know what the inside looks like because is it just bars on the inside of that, or is it because that's just yeah, I don't know. I want to know what it looks like on the inside looking towards that. But yeah, that's what I saw earlier. Now, that is a sheet covering the bars.
Side.
I want to know what it looks like on the inside because the bars broke off and they not flew at Kyle, but they swung towards him on when it hit. Now, if he would have took that hit on that side, would those bars would have broke? I don't know. We will never know, but he is more protected.
I'll bet there'll be more pictures of whether there's bars on the inside of that metal or not. And I don't think he wouldn't have came out unscathed if he would have been hit like that on the driver's side. He would have definitely, I don't want to say injured, but he would have been feeling it. But that plating would have taken a lot of that energy that ripped those bars apart. I'm not. No one knows. We'll never know.
No, unless it happens at Daytona.
But I think that if it had been on the driver's side, there's a lot more absorption.
Yeah,
I guess and surface area versus just
the bars. But
I wonder if after this, if now NASCAR is going to armor both sides.
Yeah,
because that was ugly. That was, and Preece said that was the hardest hit he's ever taken.
You seen the in-car camera of him getting hit or him doing that hit? That boy had his visor down, and when he hit, the visor came up, and his eyes rolled in the back of his head. When he hit
I didn't see that one.
There's a slow-mo video somewhere, and his eyes rolled in the back of his head, either because he was maybe trying to close them and then just the impact, but his eyes were in the back of his head when he hit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very vicious hit. People realize how hard he hit. He was probably, he slowed down because they're going 190, 185, 190. So he probably slowed down to 170, but then he goosed it trying to get around it. So he's probably going 175, 180 when he hit him to a Kyle Larson dead hit. That's a lot of force.
It's kind of amazing that with the squareness of that hit that Kyle Larson didn't go over.
I think, it hit him. He's lucky he hit him. I don't know. It could have been a lot worse. We can make a lot of scenarios, but he's lucky he hit him center instead of in the nose because he could have gone on spinning and that could have made it flip. And there's a lot of scenarios that could have made it worse. I'm glad he's out and he's walking away. He's going to be feeling it the rest of this week, that's for sure.
And going into Dover, that's not a good thing. All right. We're happy everybody's okay and nobody had to go to the hospital over that. And
at least everybody's out of the hospital.
Yeah. All right. Something you and I went back and forth on a little bit this week is this top 75 thing that's come out, and there was one that was named, and I kind of call bullshit a little bit.
No. I know exactly what you're going to say. You can spew it, but go ahead. Okay, here, let me ask you this. And we're going to go about this, and I think it's completely warranted. But what is your classification to be on that list?
That's the point I was going to make. I don't know.
Yeah, what's the classification?
There's a lot of them that are in that don't, because you say if you have a championship, they should be in. I guess one of my criteria
It's not.
would
I'm
be
not saying
years.
a championship. Obviously, I think that guarantees. But I think for one, it's even Kyle Larson. But Chase Elliott, that's who we're talking about. He did it in 4 years. You want to?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that fact.
Mm-hmm. You think it's too
All
early?
right.
You think it's too early?
I do. I just think it's too early. Give him another couple of years, and maybe do the top 100 or whatever whenever they want to do that.
What I found out.
Just
go ahead. What I found out when I was researching this, because I brought up a lot of stats and I have it here. Apparently, I don't remember them doing it. Maybe I was just too young, but I remember the NASCAR 50th anniversary. They did a top 50 then. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do, but I don't recall
who was on it. I do know who was. Well, I mean, I can look it up, but they're adding 25 more to that 50. They're not adding another 70 or making a new list. So
you can verify, because I didn't think to do this, that the original 50 are still on the list.
Yes.
And they just added 25 more.
They're adding 25 more to that 50 list.
Might be a little piece of homework for me to do here, is to go back and look at that original 50 list, look at the 25 they added, and then go back and see who's not on it, who they went over, because there's a lot of guys.
I can list them right now. I brought it up. There's a lot of names.
I don't want to hear all. Oh, you mean you're talking about the ones not on it?
The 50 list. I have it from 98. I can do some that, like, there's Bobby Allison, Davey Allison, there's Bill Elliott, there's AJ Foyt, there's Jeff Bodine, Buddy Baker. I'm just doing names. There's Jeff Gordon on it, Ray Hendrick, Ernie Irvin's on it, Ralph Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, Lee Petty, Richard Petty, Benny and David Parson, Cale Yarborough, Leroy Yarborough, Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, Alan Kawicki, Junior Johnson, Ned and Dale Jarrett. Like, there's a list. That's I probably named half of them. So that's the original 50, and now they're adding 25.
Is Tim Richmond on that list?
Tim
Richmond.
I don't think so.
Is Fireball Roberts?
What's his? Yeah, Fireball Roberts on there.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim Richmond is. Yes.
Okay. Again, I'm not gonna step out here and say that somebody that's deserving isn't on there before. I
understand your point.
To me, and people, I am a Chase Elliott fan. Believe me, I'm not a non-Chase Elliott fan. I just feel there are more people in the history of this sport that are probably more deserving based on them paying their dues.
I can agree with that.
I just don't feel that drivers like Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson,
current drivers,
have paid their dues yet to get this kind of an honor.
I get you. I can understand that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought you were saying
I'm not saying they're not going to be on the master list. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's for a guy that's been in NASCAR Cup Series. Now, I get it. He's got all kinds of accolades. What, 2 championships in Xfinity? He was a master in go-kart and everything else that Bill brought him up through.
Yeah.
I get all that. But as far as a Cup Series driver, greatest of all time list, I think you need to be around a little more than 5 years to attain that status. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. I
mean, I get he's got a championship. I get all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say, put it in my world. You know, because you grew up with it, I've been at my profession for 30, almost 5 years. A year ago, I finally received one of the most prestigious honors that my company will give to anybody in my position. Only the top 1% get it. And I'm not going to go into
Mm-hmm.
details. I just feel I paid my dues and I performed consistently and I got it. And I'm proud of that. Now, if I had been in my position doing my job and only 2 or 3 years in, maybe, okay, let's put it into Chase perspective, 5 years in, and I got recognized as one of those prestige elites,
Yeah.
I can honestly say, you know what? Give it to somebody that's paid their dues.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't feel, again, and I'm not trying to hammer the boy because I like him. I'm a fan. But I just don't think he's paid his dues yet, even though he has a championship. But also remember, it's Hendrick. And you got people like Alex Bowman and,
Mm-hmm.
winning races. Why is he and the other guy, I keep forget, I go blank on the other guy. William Byron, the winning. My point is the equipment. What if Chase Elliott were at Colleague or one of the not top tier teams?
He beat Kyle Larson.
You know what I'm
when
saying?
I say he'll be Kyle Larson, because Kyle Larson was good, we didn't have the equipment at Chip Ganassi. He won like 3 races, but he would be perform, but it wouldn't be. It's just Hendrick equipment. Don't get me wrong, helps you tremendously. That's why they're always in the top or always in the conversation for a championship, because it's Hendrick. They have the money, they have the talent, they have the engine builders, they have the technology, they have Chad Knaus. They have the people to do it and to help them. So. I agree. If it wasn't for him being in Hendrick, he probably wouldn't have a championship.
And again, and I'm not trying to take that away from him either. I'm basing my, if you want to call it criticism, call it criticism. I just don't think it's time for him to be considered elite. Is he one of the top tier drivers? Oh, absolutely. You bet your ass he is.
Yeah.
He's one of the top tier drivers. But is he elite? You put him in the class of Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson's
you just
not even on the list
elevated
yet. You didn't know
Johnson? Yeah, he is. He's got to be.
Nope.
Bullshit.
Not yet. He'll be in the 25, the new 25 they're adding, but Jimmy Johnson's not.
They put Carl Edwards in before Jimmy Johnson. Okay, I got to look at this list because that sounds like a blog.
I'm being honest with you.
And I'm not a Jimmy Johnson fan, but if you're going to put someone like Chase Elliott in, Jimmy Johnson's ass better damn sure be there.
No, yeah, he's not there yet. Because this is in alphabetical order, and it's Junior Johnson's the only Johnson they have in it.
I'll bet Jimmy Johnson's ringing some phones now.
He'll be in it. He'll probably be the last one to be announced, to be like, the crown, I'm assuming. But yeah, I
guess my point is I want this list to be the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Chase Elliott won't be there at some point in time, because I do believe that at some point in time he will be, when he gets multiple championships and that kind. I just don't think in 5 years you achieve that status. I just don't. So I'll leave it alone.
No, I agree with you, but I like I said, it's just funny because I knew, just because people hate on Chase so much, when they announced that, that's why I said, here come the keyboard warriors, because I knew.
I stayed off of social media on that one, believe me.
Because I knew they were going to just, because he's they always hate on him.
Let's explore that for just a minute. There is some validity, because, it's like, me with Junior. And I'm not going to say he wasn't a bad or a good racer, because he was. But I've always said if Dale Jr.'s last name was Smith versus Earnhardt, he would never have had the opportunities that he had. He would never have been in the equipment that he was in.
No.
I mean, why Carey has never gotten better equipment because of his last name, I don't know. And Dale was kind of a one-trick pony as far as he was like his dad, great at plate racing and the fast tracks. He never really was that good at the smaller tracks. And Dale Jr. never won a championship.
No. He didn't even win Rookie of the Year, if you didn't know.
No. Well, Kenseth got it that year, didn't he?
Yep.
Matt
Kenseth isn't on this list either.
And Carl Edwards, man, I needed to be prepared for that one. I'm kind of flying blind here.
There's a couple on there that I expect, but like when they announced Ron Hornaday and Brady LaJoie this past week, I go, what?
Yeah, but back in the day, Ron Hornaday was the
truck
bomb.
He was used for the truck. He was a huge truck guy, and I understand he helped probably solidify truck being trucks.
Him and Ted Musgrave made the Truck Series viable.
Yep, and
those
Randy,
two right
Randy
there.
LaJoie was what Randy LaJoie's the trucks Randy LaJoie was the Busch Series. I looked up the stats, and he had a lot of wins, and he had 2 or 3 championships. He just didn't produce in Cup.
That's exactly right. Please tell me that Michael Waltrip isn't on that list.
No. But he probably will, because he has 2.
No.
Because he has 2 Daytona 500 wins, he probably will.
And he has a Talladega win.
No,
those are his only wins.
He probably will because he has those wins, just like
to me.
Like
and again,
Denny Hamlin, he won. He has a lot of races. Don't be wrong, and he's proved it. But he's never won a championship. But he's won the crown jewels races.
See, to me, I don't weight a championship in as much as I do a broad spectrum of wins. Like Michael Waltrip, he couldn't find his ass with 2 hands on a short track.
He found that wall pretty good.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot. But I guess I want the elites in, the guys that perform. Yeah. And again, I was never a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan either. But man, that boy won everywhere. Rusty Wallace, again, never winning he did win a championship.
Well, it's like Sterling Marlin. That boy, he had 10.
But he won at multiple different
he had 10
genres.
Wins. He has 10 wins.
Yeah.
Cup.
No, I'll tell you what. Sterling Marlin belongs in for the simple fact that at Daytona, he hit a bird or something, got out of his car under a red flag condition and fixed his car on the track, and they let him keep going. They didn't like it, but he deserves in for that alone. That was awesome. I'll never forget that. And I still think Juan Pablo should be in just for hitting the jet dryer. That was...
Yeah. The not greatest drivers, the not so greatest drivers, but they're memorized for memorable.
The memorable drivers, things one hit wonders or whatever.
Yeah, literally one hit wonders.
I'll never forget that Juan Pablo thing. I think that was Daytona.
I don't remember it was.
Yeah, I think it was Daytona. It was a rain delay because we had a big gathering. And we were obviously all about half in the bag by the time that happened because it was a rain delay and late at night. And everybody's like, what? The bomb go off? What happened? And he hit a jet dryer. But, okay. We'll leave that alone. Like I said, I just think that the scrutiny should be a little more tough. And I feel that
was Daytona in 2012.
Yeah. That was awesome. It was.
Yeah, Daytona 500 in 2012. Just idiot.
I don't remember what his reason was for doing that, but it was awesome. But I also think, if you're going to include somebody, this just came to me, and I told him I was going to leave this alone. There's guys like Marcus Ambrose. Comes from out of the country, doesn't know a thing. He called a cup car a tin lid. Because he's used to racing open, cars through the desert and road courses and stuff. Like I said, I don't want any blowback on this. It's just, I just don't feel it's time for somebody, and like I said, you're gonna make me do some research now, because I'm gonna go through this list and I'm gonna look at things, and I'm gonna look back at some other stuff. It's gonna be a subject for next week. I just think you need to be around a lot longer and have a lot more accomplished. And again, I'm not saying that Chase Elliott isn't accomplished, because he's won on short tracks. He's a road course ace. He clearly knows how to race the draft. But I guess I just, again, equate it to my life, my career. You don't get these kinds of awards until you do your time. So that's that. We're on to Dover.
I sent you the link.
Oh, okay. I'll look at it later then. Dover. Whoa. I gotta remember which device I'm on here. That's the right one. We're on to Dover, Monster Mile. I still say one of the coolest tracks in the world. You got that boy out front holding last year's winner, full-size car in his hand. And your trophy for the race is a miniaturized version of that guy with your car in his hand. Give a little bit of a rundown. I need to turn that. Well, I need to make that go away. And we'll do our picks. Then we'll do a little promo here. And as always, I always go with the top 10 as far as favorites at Dover over the last 10 years. Your top 10. I'm just gonna do that and do some notables. Believe it or not, Martin Truex, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson each have. Whoa! I got it filtered wrong. Hang on, let me refilter. I had it on 5s because I was looking at that as well. All right, there we go. Oh, come back! Jeez, I hate this thing. I want my other one back. All right, top 10s. We'll start over here. Kevin Harvick with 9. Truex, Elliott, Larson with 7. And this is over the last 10 years at Dover, which includes, I think they're still racing there twice, are they not?
Good question.
Okay.
I can look.
Anyway, the last 10 races. Kyle Busch, Hamlin with 6. Bowman, Logano, and Suarez. Hey, there's a garage pick. With 5, and Keselowski has 4. Some people that stick out to me, Stenhouse has got 3. William Byron's got...
Dover's, this is one time a year, Dover.
Okay. So one time a year we got the last 10 races. The others that do have top 10 finishes that are active, you got Buescher, Blaney, Bell, Chastain, Amarola, and Riddick with 1, and Riddick and Bell with only 4 races. Dillon and Cole Custer with 2. Cole Custer, there's another little good dark horse. He's only been there 4 times. He's got 2 top 10s. You got Eric Jones, Byron, Busch, and Stenhouse with 3 apiece. So, with that being said, and I don't have the standings in front of me right now, who you picking for the win?
Oh man, I didn't really look into it, but from that, I'm gonna say Harvick. My dark horse. Let me look at the standings. Dark horse. I'm not gonna go the obvious with Chase Elliott because he's 31st. I mean, I could, but I'm not. I'm gonna go Ryan Preece. He's been on a hot streak lately.
Well, he's 41 or 14?
41.
41. All right, I'm gonna have to switch over. I can do that real quick. For the win, I'm gonna freak you out on this one. I'm going with Tyler Reddick. I think it's time. Where is? I've got it up here. I'm going with Tyler. I've become a believer. Quick links. Come on, give it to me quick. Don't give me dead air.
What are you looking for?
The standings.
You got Jones, Haley, Allmendinger, Priest, Dillon, Burton, Elliott, Gregson, Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, and BJ McLeod.
Those are my choices?
Yeah, there's not much. That's why I said I didn't want to take Chase Elliott because that's the obvious one. But, I mean, you can take Chase because he's 31st. And the sad part is he can be probably top 25 just by finishing. But, yeah, it's Eric Jones, Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, Ryan Preece, Austin Dillon, Harrison Burton, Chase Elliott, Noah Gragson, Ty Dillon, Cody Ware's not racing because he got suspended, and then BJ McLeod.
I'm going to go with Noah Gragson.
Yeah, he needs to get his head out of his ass too, but I don't know if it's. I thought he'd do a lot better.
Oh, there's one thing I want. You and I discussed where that wreck. I forgot about that because to me it's settled. You thought it was Do you still think it's Ross Chastain caused that?
I think Ross had to make the move because of the push for Larson, but I think Noah Gragson coming down on Ross caused the crash. I don't think Larson had anything to do with it besides him pushing. Because if he pushed as hard as you say he did, Ross Chastain would have been swirly and spun out by Larson himself.
Well, Larson hit Chastain pretty square on. I've got another theory, and I haven't heard anything to back this up. But that was obvious.
Like I said, I'll say I don't think Ross caused that crash because he was making the move. He had the hole. He went in. I want to say that was Noah Gragson coming down to try to block, and that's what caused that crash. I would say that was on Noah because he didn't want to give it up. He thought he could take the win, and if he got shuffled out like he did, he would have been at the back of the line. And
you just froze up.
It's fine now. Can you hear me? But okay. I would say Noah Gragson caused that crash because he got shuffled out and he didn't want to get shuffled. I don't want to say that was Ross, and I don't think that wasn't Larson because he was just pushing.
I've got a different theory, and I have not heard any kind of an interview with Noah. I don't think he's talked to anybody.
He had an interview, but it's just more or less he's all right.
I think his car hiccuped. He was almost out of gas.
Very possible.
And Ross either lifted or maybe touched him, and it slowed him up enough to where Larson hit him. But I'm glad to hear you. Either your take on it or my take on it
changed.
It wasn't Larson.
No, I don't think it was Larson. I don't think it was Larson at all.
It wasn't Chastain.
Yeah, the more I watched it, no, it wasn't.
I think something happened with the and again, I don't know if he ran out of gas or the car hiccuped. The pickup had an air bubble in it. I think the cause of that crash, whichever scenario you want to go with, was Gragson.
Yeah, I would say it was Gragson. Yeah.
Yes, Larson hit Chastain, but All right, so we're more on the same page on that one because when it first happened, he got
Fucking
Chastain.
Ross. Yeah, and then
No, Larson nailed him.
yeah.
And then the more I looked at it, the more I was like, ooh, something happened with Gregson.
Yeah, Gregson.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he got loose or whatever, but I just feel this is the first time he's in the front, leading, and has a chance to win. He didn't want to give it up like Bubbles, and he came down for no reason. Either he got loose or he tried to block, and even though he didn't have the room, and he just crashed.
Okay. Well, like I said, you took it off of Chastain, I'm taking it off of Larson, and we're both putting it on Gregson, no
100%.
matter what happened.
Yep.
I think Gregson caused that, not either one of the other two.
Nope.
So, all right.
I think
cool.
if it was anybody's driver, if it was anybody else's driver, they would have done the same thing. If everybody was saying that Larson hit him like as much as Hardy did, Larson would have spun out or took out Ross. But Ross had the hole. If I was Ross, I would have done the same thing. Like I said, if I put myself in his shoes, I would have done the same thing. Put myself in that hole to try to win. And Noah, I just think he didn't want to give the position up, and I think Ross came up so fast he didn't realize it closed on him, and Noah either you said hiccuped or tried to block, and it was done by then.
No, I absolutely agree. I don't think it was either. Whatever that circumstance was, whatever happened, it wasn't Chastain or Larson. It was Gregson that caused that whole thing.
Yep.
So, all right. Cool. We're cool on that one then, because you and I had a little bit of a cat fight over that when it first happened. I'm like, no, it wasn't Chad. They didn't get Chastain. It was Larson, because I thought it was Larson pounded Chastain, but I went back and looked at it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was 100% that wasn't Larson, 100%.
No, it wasn't Chastain either. So, all right. I think we're done.
The fantasy stuff's up.
Oh, is it?
Matchups at least.
I got to log in with this. All right, let's do it. That means we got to do a show next week. We can't skip. All right, bro. What are the choices?
It's Ross versus Elliott. Chastain versus Elliott, and then.
Oh no, let's pick that one. Who are you taking?
Chase. I'm gonna take Chase on that. And I usually change my picks depending how they qualify and how I see him running. But
I'm gonna take Ross on that one.
I'm gonna take Chase, and then the next one's Alex Bowman versus Kyle Busch.
I'm taking Busch.
Yep, I'll take Busch. The next one's Ryan Blaney versus Brad Keselowski. I would take.
Who are you gonna take?
I don't know. Brad's though he's being sneaky with his finishing, but I'm gonna take Ryan Blaney. I think he's on the verge of getting a win here soon. He hasn't been in victory lane since last year at All-Star Race in Texas.
It's been longer than that for Keselowski, so
yeah.
I'm taking him.
And then we got Christopher Bell versus Harvick. I'm gonna say Harvick because I picked Harvick because I think Harvick is gonna win. So, that's my pick to win.
I'm taking Harvick as well. All right, let me write this down. Head to head. So you're taking Chase. I'm taking Chastain. We're both taking Busch. You're taking Blaney. I'm taking Keselowski, and we're both taking Harvick.
Yep.
All right. And for anybody that's out there, get in with us. It's at NASCAR.com. Get on Fantasy Live, create a team, join our league. It's Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. There's not much you're going to do competition-wise right now with us because we're so far into the season, but get yourself set up for the championship because everything gets reset once we get to the, final 16.
Oh, before we go, I don't know, now you just said that, Denny Hamlin in his detrimental podcast idea. I wanted to throw it by you.
Oh, yeah.
Totally forgot about it. We can talk about other stuff. Denny Hamlin, excuse me. I haven't coughed all day. Denny Hamlin says he wants to have a mid-season, not a playoff, but a mid-season battle. I don't know if that's the right term he said. He says because there's no sports on in the summer besides baseball, and this would give people to watch, this would give people to root for, this would give people to gamble on, blah, 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 blah. And make the prize of whoever wins this, I'm going to tell you what it is, what he proposed, $1 million at the end. What he wants to do, and I don't know when he set the time frame, but let's say All-Star race. The cutoff is the All-Star race. The top 32 drivers, they go on a bracket. Okay? The number one driver in the points faces number 32. And so forth, second versus 31 and 30, third to 30, blah, 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 all the way down. And that driver they're going to go head to head. Number 1 and 32.
What? Like,
and for the next race, whoever wins goes on and it goes to the next bracket.
But they're going head to head doing what?
Whoever wins. Whoever has the best finishing position advances in that bracket. You know what I'm saying? There's an internal.
So this is a several race thing.
Yes. This race would go over I think 5 or 6 races. He wants to do it over the course of the summer because he knows viewership goes down in the summer because it's summer. People go out. There's not much going on. So he wants, let's say, like I said, the first is think of it as the March Madness bracket, essentially. 1 versus 16. But this is 1 versus 32. So the number 1, which let me see standings. Right now it's
take it.
Christopher Bell would go against Noah Gragson in this bracket. This is the NASCAR point system still there, but this is a separate thing. Now, whoever finishes in the next race after the All-Star race, which let's see what that is. Hold on. Charlotte. At Charlotte, Noah Gragson and Christopher Bell in this bracket go head to head. Whoever finishes first goes on to the top 16. So let's say Noah Gragson upsets the number 1 seed and goes on. And so on and so forth for, the top 32, and then it's top 36, then top 8, then top 4, and then 2, then 1. Whoever wins $1 million. He wants it's going to drive viewership, people talking,
or an automatic berth in the.
That could, yeah. The winner could get automatic berths into playoff, but he said $1 million, and then, let me find it because he commented on top of it, which was really good, and then he said, "Let the fans make a bracket, and whoever gets a perfect bracket gets $5 million."
I like that one.
Yeah. Let me see, because he tweeted. He says 32 drivers, 5-week midsummer tournament, $3 million to win. How many upsets would be in week 1 alone? Let me see what else he said. I'm trying to find it because he also said NASCAR offers $50 million to anyone with a perfect bracket. Insure it. Casual fans would be all over it. Sports bettors are bored in the summer with nothing but MLB to bet on. Would create so much chatter and content.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, like I said,
that would be cool.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a 5-week midsummer tournament. But I like your idea too. It also could, give him a playoff berth. But he said, $3 million. I don't know if you can hear this if I play it loud enough, but no, you're not gonna be able to. You need to watch it, but the way he explains it, it's under a minute. But like I said, it's just a bracket. Like I said, it doesn't affect the current point system. It's just a mid-season. What did he say? What did I say it was?
Sideshow.
Yeah, essentially, mid-season summer tournament. Like I said, there would be a lot of upsets because you'd think Christopher Bell would beat Noah Gragson. But what if Christopher Bell blows a tire and finishes last and Gragson finishes 30th? Honestly,
I think that I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but initial out of the gates, I like that.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Like I said, I'm like, Denny Hamlin might have something here. And he goes, I don't care if NASCAR steals the idea. I don't care. I won't take credit for it. But I think that's what NASCAR needs is more eyes on it and more, how many people bet on basketball and they don't watch the damn sport? A lot. It's the same thing. If right now number 4, Kyle Larson's, and he would face the 28th, Ryan Preece. You think Kyle Larson win that all day? Ryan Preece, he can do well. So you need to watch it. And he explains it pretty well.
Okay, so you're saying starting after the All-Star race,
yeah, I'm just saying, no. yeah. I'm just saying, if they were to do it, the mid-season, tournament I would say after the All-Star race, you start this mid-season tournament, and that would be after the All-Star race, which would be what races? Charlotte.
Yeah, you got Charlotte,
the Worldwide Technology,
Worldwide, then Sonoma, Nashville, Chicago.
Oh, I don't know if I wanted to end it at Chicago. Maybe it ended at Atlanta. I would be okay with that. But right there, you have all the tracks that are besides the super speedway. I guess Atlanta would technically be the super speedway.
That's why I would say do it for the month of July. Because you got the Chicago Street Race, Atlanta, New Hampshire, Pocono,
and Richmond.
Yeah. That gives you the 5 races he's talking about in 1 month. You got 1, 2, 3 different basic well, you got a road course, a super speedway, a mid race, a 3/4 race, yeah, and a short track.
Yeah.
That would be the time to do it, is through the month of July.
And the thing is, right now, NASCAR, it could do that right now. They could say, hey, you know what, Denny, that's good. Let's set that up for July. They have a month to do it. Well, technically a month and a half.
I guarantee you Bud would sponsor it right now just because they're in such doo-doo with the world.
Yeah,
They would.
Like I said, when he brought that up, I'm like, wow, you know what, Denny? I like that. I like that idea because it's not going to affect the points. But he also said, you know what? That would also, because of the reward is so high, he goes, that would change drivers' strategies on how they want to race or how they're going to do during the race, depending on what the person they're facing in that bracket is. Because let's say, somebody's on 2 tires, 4 tires, and that other guy's, doing whatever on his strategy. Like, okay, what if we do a no pit and get ahead of them and, win by 1? I think
that would.
I think
make a separate website. Mm-hmm. The more I'm thinking about this, the more I like it.
Yeah, like I said, I know I told you we were going to talk about this, and I totally forgot about it until you're like, oh, let's go. And I pulled my phone up. I go, oh, shit. Yeah, I want to talk about this because I think it's a really great idea that Denny brought up. And I don't say that about Denny. I think he's a numbskull most of the time. But this idea, I really wish or hope either NASCAR takes a really intrigue. I know the money is probably the problem because it's what he was saying. They could do whatever amounts, but I think that would be huge for the summer months.
My head's spinning right now with some ideas.
Well, you could start the end of July too. It goes Richmond, then Michigan, then Indianapolis, then Watkins Glen, then ends it at Daytona. Type thing, and that leads into the playoffs.
Yeah, but you got 2 damn road courses in there. And
I see what you're saying.
I almost boycott because I cannot stand.
I'm just saying they could also base the schedule around this tournament too. They could change it to, have other, do whatever. But like I said, it's the month of July, honestly, like we talked about, looks like the best case scenario.
The month of July would be the best way to do it. That way you could advertise it.
Yeah.
With, kickoff, July 4th, basic weekend. And I still say the Chicago Street Race is going to be a shit show, but who knows? Um, but yeah, you got 5 races in 1 month. Get it done. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. The more you
And it
think
could
about
be
it,
a really good enterprising thing for some industrious individuals to create a website. And if NASCAR doesn't want to play, might be something. Reach out to Denny and say, "Hey, we'll run it. We'll help you."
yeah, but he
Um,
might be able to get some sponsors and stuff for it, but
absolutely.
it could be run by a third party thing. I might tweet at him and say, hey, what do you think about if NASCAR doesn't pick it up? We set us up a third party and, try to get sponsors to make something for it and then just do it that way. You never know. NASCAR might try to pick it up once it picked up steam. I don't know.
Yeah. Then we'd have to take royalties on it from that point forward.
But
I like that
the thing is, though,
idea.
they won't work unless all the drivers all top 32 drivers are okay to be a part of it because they're ones that's gonna be part of the bracket. So they're because
they if we do a third party thing, they got no say. We're just running a sideshow here.
yeah, I
a
know,
side
but
gig.
what from what Denny's perspective is, if they're a part of the bracket and whoever's number one gets whatever amount of money.
Oh yeah. If you
the
take it
drivers-
into that vein, if NASCAR's not interested, then we can do whatever we want on the
yeah,
side.
we can do it on our one, but what he wants is the drivers to be involved because they would race differently because of who they're paired against. You know what I'm saying?
It would be worth a tweet and tell him he's got serious interest if he can help us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I might spew up something and hit it to him and say, hey, I think this idea you got's really good. I don't know if NASCAR's, thinking on the same terms, but we'd looked at it.
If you're interested, is there some way we can maybe create a website and do it just as a third party thing and see if we can drum up sponsors?
Yes, started in July. All the races in that month are, all different types of tracks, different locations. It gives us time to get everything going. Yeah, I'd be totally down for.
I might actually be kind of Denny fan for that one. But yeah. Again, if NASCAR doesn't want to get involved, we can certainly run some kind of a fantasy league.
Yeah. Yep.
And see if we can attract sponsors.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. If it gets enough traction, because I don't know how I've never built a website. I don't think it'd be too hard to get people to sign up, and then all you gotta do is wait for the top 32, and then go boom. I'm sure there's bracket websites out there that can do it for you. So yeah, I'm sure this can easily be done. It's just getting everything set up ready for it. I think it's a very good idea.
Well, go ahead and write up something good, shoot it at me, and see if I can tweak it a little bit, and then why not? I mean, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Hell, Michael Jordan might sponsor the damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do it. I mean, like you said,
I plan on. Yeah, I
fashion it after March Madness.
Yeah. It's like I said, just think of March Madness, and then like I said, I
call it Independence Day Madness.
Yeah. Something like that. NASCAR Independence Madness. I don't know, but even if if you get a perfect bracket, don't have to be $50 million. You can say, hey, Daytona 500 tickets.
All of the payouts would depend on sponsorship.
But also I don't think I want to do that. Make people pay to be a part of it to help pay for it. But I think
you do that all through sponsorship.
Yeah, I think sponsorship would be the way to go. It's just you got to be able to have the contacts to be able to get the sponsorships, and that would be way above us. But yeah, I like the idea, and I hope it
I've got some
works.
ideas. The wheels are spinning. All right. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, we talked about that way too
Everybody,
long.
I sure hope we got some people watching this one tonight because I think we've come up with something. Uh, Join us on the NASCAR Fantasy League. As we say every week, we're everywhere. Any kind of streaming platform, we're there. And we've got our own page. So everybody have a good week and let's go to Dover.
Yeah. Hope it's good. It's his new package.